David Shaw here with another off-the-record story. If you want to learn more about Washington, D.C., come visit my site, offtherecordtours.com. Let's go. Today I'm in Rock Creek Cemetery, Washington's oldest burying ground that's still in use today. The cemetery is part of St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Rock Creek, which was founded in 1712 to serve early colonial settlers. It's been here before Georgetown and even the city of Washington existed. It's non-denominational, with folks from all faiths, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, and Eastern religions, as well as those who have no faith tradition at all. And it's the final resting place for many notable Washingtonians, including politicians, inventors, business people, diplomats, and artists. And it's also known for its sculpture and landscape design. So, let's see who's lying around. Here's South Dakota Senator George McGovern. McGovern was a World War II hero, piloting his B-24 on 35 missions over Germany. He was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross for his bravery. His run for the White House against Richard Nixon is my oldest political memory. It also taught me a new election term: landslide. Here's former French Prime Minister Camille Coutume. Why is a French Prime Minister buried here, you ask? Probably because he collaborated with the puppet Vichy government the Nazis set up in World War II. They really didn't like him much at home after that. Alice Roosevelt Longworth was the wild child of the White House. The oldest child of President Theodore Roosevelt, she scandalized D.C. society by smoking, something women did not do back then, having a pet snake, driving fast around town, and betting on the horses. When asked if he could bring Alice under control, Roosevelt responded, "I can do one of two things: be President of the United States or control Alice. I cannot possibly do both." Her life spanned the Gilded Age to the Space Age. She died in 1980 at 96. You may have had to read Upton Sinclair's The Jungle in high school. Sinclair exposed the brutal working conditions, crushing poverty, and terrible housing of immigrants who worked in the Chicago meatpacking industry in the early 1900s. The public outcry about the unsanitary conditions in meatpacking factories led to the Meat Inspection Act of 1906. One book you definitely were not assigned in high school was Gore Vidal's groundbreaking The City and the Pillar, one of the first major American novels to feature an openly gay character without condemning his sexuality. One of the characters in the book is based on a boy Vidal had a crush on, Jimmy Trimble. Trimble was killed on Iwo Jima in World War II and is buried nearby. Born into D.C. political royalty, Gore was a prolific author and a witty public intellectual. His televised debates with his conservative counterpart, William F. Buckley, are
with
hilarious.
His enormous and thrilling charm, manages to get away from the issue toward the comedy. He's always to the right, I think, and almost always in the wrong. And you certainly must, Bill, maintain your reputation as being the Marie Antoinette of the right wing, and continually imposing your own rather bloodthirsty neuroses on a political campaign. In the case of
Eugene Allen rose to the position of maitre d'hotel at the White House. He served every president from Truman to Reagan and never missed a day of work in 34 years. His story was made into the movie The Butler. Actor Robert Prosky is here. Born in Philadelphia, he went to Temple, but he was a Washingtonian through and through. He lived on Capitol Hill and appeared in more than 100 plays at Arena Stage in town. He appeared in numerous movies, including Mrs. Doubtfire, but my favorite role of his was Sergeant Stan Jablonski in Hill Street Blues.
And with the aforementioned in mind, let's do it to them before they do it to us.
Evelyn Walsh McLean was a mining heiress, socialite, and the last owner of the Hope Diamond. In her autobiography entitled Father Struck It Rich, she wrote, Each morning, we Walshes arose richer than we had gone to bed. But her life was largely tragic. She died nearly penniless in a psychiatric hospital. A vice president of Georgetown University read her burial service here. Here's TV journalist Tim Russert. For more than 16 years, he was the moderator of NBC's Meet the Press, and he was a big sports fan. By now, some of you are probably thinking, why hasn't he talked about the most famous marker in the cemetery? Well, it's right in here. But come to think of it, it deserves its own episode. So stay tuned for that one in the future. Well, I hope you enjoyed that off-the-record story. If you want to learn more about Washington, D.C., things seen and unseen, arrange your tour of your nation's capital at offtherecordtours.com. Until then, I'm David Shaw.